Hello, Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity, and today we're going to talk about something that I've been saying all along, is that while COVID certainly had its challenges, it wasn't a super virus. It wasn't a virus with a cape on its back that could do brand new things we had never seen before, except maybe loss of taste and smell. But in reality, now that a lot of the drama and excitement has passed, we're able to look at the data and suggest that maybe this is not too much different from other viruses that we've seen, even though it did have a predilection for people with pre-existing conditions. Like, there's no doubt about that. But as far as like affecting the brain or long COVID or like, these aren't new things. And I've been saying this all along. We have always known that there are some people who do not do well after viral infections. And that includes autoimmunity, that includes things like MS. These are well established. And this study really just drives this home and did not include SARS-CoV-2. But what it did find was that there were 22 viruses linked that were identified that were linked to neurodegenerative disorders. So think Alzheimer's, think ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, think the vascular and generalized dementias, think Parkinson's disease, MS. Viral exposure has always been linked to problems in the human body. That's not new. Some of these exposures can even 15 years later is where the downstream effects were seen on the brain. And I'll get to that in a second. The 81% of the viruses identified were neurotrophic, meaning they could directly invade the brain, and we don't really even have evidence of that with COVID at this point. So it's been around forever. That wasn't what people heard. Top of the list was influenza. I think we've never really looked at how damaging certain viral infections that we've just always assumed are there, and the problems that they cause, both on the cardiovascular system and the neurologic system. So those are there, those are established. This just strengthens that. And some of the associations were incredibly strong. So on those lists were things like influenza, pneumonia, so think viral pneumonia. Epstein-Barr was on there, especially this relationships with MS. There were certain, like genital warts was on there. Viruses are around us everywhere. We're always exposed to this. So if you had influenza 10 years ago, should you be panicking? If we stopped here, the answer would be yes. But the reality is this all boils down to what it has always boiled down to, and that is taking better care of ourselves. Viruses, COVID versus influenza, they take advantage of a weakened immune system, and they will create and wreak havoc. So exercise, good quality diet, sunlight exposure with vitamin D, all of these things play a role in both supporting the immune system and in lowering your risk of Alzheimer's disease, cognitive dementia, and all of these. So this all circles back around. This doesn't change the story. This doesn't change anything. It just informs us that maybe we need to be more aware that this has always been occurring, that we have always known that viruses can cause problems to the brain. We just put that to the side for a couple of years. As always, I'll post a link to this particular study in the description, and make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.